Inside the life of Saudi Arabia's richest family. Saudi Arabia's ruling royal family has a lot of money, about $1.4 trillion. That's 16 times more than what the British royal family has. The reason for this enormous wealth is mainly their big oil reserves, which they discovered 75 years ago. This changed Saudi Arabia's fortune and made the House of Saud, the royal family, the richest family in the world. Hey there! Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're taking you inside the life of Saudi Arabia's richest family. You won't believe the luxury, opulence, and fascinating traditions they enjoy. This huge pile of money, the $1.4 trillion, is shared among nearly 15,000 members of the royal family. These family members live in very fancy palaces. The family's money mostly comes from a big government-owned company called Saudi Aramco, which is one of the most valuable and profitable companies in the world. Saudi Aramco is like the backbone of the royal family's fortune. The Maraba Palace, home to the Saudi royal family, showcases their personal assets and opulent decorations, including gilded doors and elaborate tapestries. The official palace of the Saudi royal family showcases the wealth and opulence of the family, with its expansive compound and luxurious interior. The royal family is famous for living in a way that many people think is too fancy and wasteful. Some people have criticized them for being too extravagant and acting like they're better than others. In the past few years, things have been a bit bumpy for the family. A man named Mohammed bin Salman, who is often called MBS, became the crown prince. He did some things that upset people. He arrested some of his own family members, including his cousins, and it seemed like he was trying to get more power in a way that wasn't very nice. It was kind of like the power struggles you see in the fictional book and TV series, Game of Thrones. But even with all the politics and problems, the royal family still spends a lot of money on fancy things. They spend hundreds of millions on things like super fancy boats and private planes. They also use their money to get involved in wars in the Middle East. This gives us a peek into their life. The royal family lives a life of extreme luxury. They have things like super fancy yachts covered in gold, their own private airplanes, and grand palaces. Even the tissue paper they use comes from special gold-plated dispensers. In 2017, the 34-year-old crown prince, known as MBS, spent a whopping $450.3 million to buy a 500-year-old painting by Leonardo da Vinci called Salvator Mundi. This painting is also known as Jesus Christ, and it set a record for being the most expensive painting ever sold at an art auction. MBS also spent over $300 million on a fancy place called the Chateau Louis XIV in France, which Fortune magazine called the world's most expensive home. This place has 10 bedrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a cinema, a wine cellar, and even a moat with a see-through underwater chamber. When asked about his spending and lifestyle, MBS said, "I'm a rich person and not a poor person. I'm not Gandhi or Mandela. I'm a member of the ruling family that existed for hundreds of years before the founding of Saudi Arabia." Saudi Arabia is a massive buyer of weapons and spends a lot of money on its military. It's known for spending more on its military than any other country in the Middle East. It's also the world's largest importer of arms, buying tens of billions of dollars worth of weapons. In 2018, Saudi rulers spent around $67.6 billion. They led a coalition involved in a civil war in Yemen, which is where a lot of this money went. In 2015, Saudi Arabia and the UAE began a military campaign in Yemen, with the goal of bringing back the Yemeni government that had been pushed out of the country by Houthi rebels. Despite having strong air support, the alliance has struggled to take control of much of Yemen, and the capital city, Sana'a, is still held by the rebels. The UAE hasn't just fought against the Houthi rebels, they've also supported separatists in the south who want to be independent from the Yemeni government's rule. Because of the involvement of these Gulf states, Yemen is facing a terrible situation, with many people on the verge of starvation and a big cholera outbreak. Since the conflict began in March 2015, about 2 million young children under the age of 5 are suffering from severe malnutrition and need help. Over 100,000 people have died in the Yemeni civil war, and many of them were civilians killed in Saudi airstrikes. In 2018, the former President of the United States, Donald Trump, commented on a school bus that was hit by Saudi airstrikes, calling it a horror show and suggesting that the people using the weapons made a terrible mistake. Saudi rulers aren't just involved in the war in Yemen, they are also causing problems in the Middle East with their policies in countries like Qatar, Egypt, and Libya. Over the years, the wealthy Saudi Arabian royal family has had its fair share of disputes within the family. There have been times when some family members have disagreed with each other. There is strong evidence that some members of the Saudi royal family who disappeared were actually taken from other countries and brought back to Riyadh against their will. This means they were kidnapped and brought back to the capital city of Saudi Arabia. Saudi officials have usually said that the accusations about missing princes and the allegations of abductions are not true. They've denied any wrongdoing in these cases. For example, Prince Sultan bin Turki, Prince Turki bin Bandar, and Prince Saad bin Saif were taken by the Saudi royal family because they openly criticized the rule of Riyadh. This criticism of the government led to their abduction. These cases highlight the complex dynamics within the Saudi royal family and the lengths to which some members are willing to go to silence dissent. It's a part of the family's history that has raised concerns and questions about the treatment of family members who speak out against the government. The life of Saudi Arabia's richest family is filled with luxury, extravagance, and traditions that have been passed down through generations. While their opulent lifestyle is beyond the reach of most, it's fascinating to get a glimpse into the world of the Saudi royal family. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing stories about the world's luxury things and people. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.